Hello, Colorado. This is Christy Bullen, and I'm with Keller Williams Premier in Katy, Texas. I serve as their Director of Growth, and I will run my own real estate team, the Christy Bullen Sells Homes team. Thank you so much for your time today. Jessica asked me to reach in and just shoot this quick video to you guys so you could hear a little bit about what's happened here in the aftermath of Hurricane Harvey. I have been so blown away by the generosity of our agents and our company in the wake of this huge disaster. I wanted to let you know that in this particular time, a lot of people said, why didn't you evacuate? We have over 6.5 million people in our area, and the storm was so incredibly huge that there was just nowhere to go. It was really, really scary and trying time for everyone. In my office alone, we had over 30 agents that lost their homes, in addition to their family members. Our own team leader had to be evacuated out of her home. It was just a really, really, really scary time, and we didn't know what to expect. Typically, a hurricane will just blow right through in a day or two, and it sat here for days and days and days and days. I can tell you in my own home, I felt the fear myself as the water rose. We actually moved all of our furniture up to the second floor of our home. Public officials told us to make sure that we were prepared to live in the upstairs of our home for a week or so until they could get to us. It's a scary time. I was very fortunate that the water receded right before my house flooded, but many people just did not experience that in our community. The flooding was so widespread that they couldn't even get emergency response in. I was so blown away by our Keller Williams agents because they left their homes, grabbed their boats, grabbed their trucks, grabbed their pool toys, and went out and started rescuing people that were trapped in their homes without care or concern for their own personal safety or for what was happening in those arenas. We weren't thinking about business, we were thinking about helping our neighbors, which was really, really, really important. I wanted to tell you about Becky. She's one of our clients in our office, just to give you an idea of what these poor people have been through. She lives in the back of one of the most devastated neighborhoods in our area, Canyon Gate. It's 2 miles from the back of the neighborhood up to the entrance. At 3 o'clock in the morning, the National Guard came through and said, if you need a rescue, you need to get out right now because otherwise the boats aren't going to be able to get in. It's just too scary and treacherous. Becky had 3 children, and her friend that was with her had 3 children, and they had a young teenager with them. She was 14. So they grabbed their air mattresses, blew them up, put the children on the air mattresses in already knee-deep water, and they went out and made the 1.5 mile trek to the front of the neighborhood with the kids on top of the air mattresses and walking through treacherous water full of water moccasins and other crazy and dangerous things in the middle of a storm in the middle of the night. When Becky got to the front of the neighborhood, the National Guard was there, and they said, if you have an immediate medical emergency, go to the left. If you don't, go to the right and go to Creech Elementary School. Creech is 2 miles further down the road from the entrance of that neighborhood in now waist-deep water. So she and her 14-year-old daughter took those air mattresses and they floated down treacherous water until they got to our office's charity, the Ballard House, which is a hospitality house. When they got there, that's the entrance to the bayou. It was a river. The lights from the Ballard House, the emergency lights from the Ballard House were on, and they could see alligators in the water and other things that were just completely scary. Becky's about 5 foot tall. She lost her footing and she grabbed the guardrail of the road and held on for dear life until she could get her footing again and kept her children on top of that air mattress. Becky finally made her way to Creech Elementary School, and she was the very last family to be allowed in because they were so full and the school was starting to take on water itself. Becky reached out to one of our agents. Our agents took her to the Keller Williams Command Center where she was able to go and shop for food, groceries, items for her babies, clothing. They left with the clothes on their back. They had nothing. And our agents were in leadership, were there to love on them, to give them support, and just make her feel cared about after going through such an ordeal. Becky just got back into her neighborhood on Sunday. So she went through this life-threatening ordeal with her family, had nothing to show for it, and finally got back into her flooded home on Sunday. Hurricane Harvey has passed, but the need is immense, and Keller Williams is there. Not only are we there on the ground to support people, we're not thinking about our businesses right now. We're thinking about how do we get people back on their feet. And it's people like you and the donations that you're making to Keller Williams Cares that are making a huge impact on life after life after life after life of people. So I appeal to you, open your checkbooks, open your hearts, and help these poor people so we can get back on our feet and get back to business, because that's the root of our company, Keller Williams Cares, and I know you do too.